Brooklyn Independent Television.
This week on In the Zone, we're at Budokan Martial Arts Academy in Long Island when Sensei Nardu, who's from Brooklyn, will discuss mixed martial arts. Also, Alexander Coppage will go inside the ring at Gleason's gym and will sit down with the scout for the New Jersey Nets, Khalid Green. All of that and more on In the Zone. This week, we are not in Brooklyn, we are in Long Island, and joining me is Sensei Nardu of Budokan Martial Arts Academy. Long Island, you're from Brooklyn. How did you get here to Long Island?
Well, from Brooklyn to Lynbrook. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and one of the aspects of my training was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And the academy that I first started training at was right here in Valley Stream. My first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teacher was Matt Serra, and at that time he was teaching along with Rodrigo Gracie. And that's
Gracie brothers, right?
Yes.
You started mixed martial arts?
Yes, exactly, yes. And we started right in Valley Stream on Central Avenue, and it was a small dojo, and we shared it with another martial arts school. And then ultimately Rodrigo had moved and further east into Lynbrook, which is where we are now. So I continued training with him and training also in the academy in the city with Professor Renzo Gracie. And I pretty much opened up a school right where I learned the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it was always easy for me to get here. If you're familiar with Brooklyn, it's just a few exits away from South Brooklyn. It's just a few exits away. It's really close.
Well, people say, all right, fine, that's Long Island, but why not Brooklyn?
Well, we didn't open a school in Brooklyn for very practical reasons. I initially wanted to open a school right on Avenue N, okay, right in Brooklyn. We were going to open a school right there, but the rent was insane, okay? The rent was ridiculous, you know. It was, you know, I started the academy, Budokan, from scratch. We had 0 students, okay? So with 0 students, we're now well over 100 students. It was mainly for reasons of affordability initially. You know, we just couldn't afford the rent in Brooklyn. It was too much. And the thing is, like, a lot of people, when I moved to Long Island, I finally got the academy in Long Island, people were saying, like, oh man, I wish you opened a school in Brooklyn. It's like, I've been in Brooklyn for 15 years. My teacher is still in Brooklyn. I'm still in Brooklyn. So I never left. Brooklyn's in the heart. I'm still in Brooklyn. If you want to train in Brooklyn, call me up. I'm easy to reach, www.budobjj.com. Reach me. I'll teach you in Brooklyn, in Prospect Park, wherever you want to meet. I'm still there. And I also have a lot of other good friends who also teach in Brooklyn, Brooklyn BJJ. There's a lot of great schools in Brooklyn. Even my teacher, Renzo Gracie, he just opened up a monster academy in Williamsburg. So I'm still there. So, you know, if you want to train with me, it's just a matter of get in touch with me and we train.
Tell us about your background in mixed martial arts, the various arts that you are familiar with, and you know, your degrees and your belts.
Okay, well, you know, my teacher who got me the most into all of the different arts was Sifu Ralph Mitchell. He's more than like a teacher, he's more like a father to me and to those who he's trained. We have a very, very long relationship, and we've been together through it all. He was a prime force back in the 60s and 70s here in New York City. He was instrumental because he was one of the few who used Chinese Kung Fu and functionalized it in martial art tournaments.
Was he also involved with Master Moses Powell? And
yes,
like that?
Yes, he was. Dr. Moses Powell was actually, you know, very influential on him, as well as Dr. Powell's student, Soke Little John Davis. Soke Little John Davis and Sifu Mitchell are like brothers, you know, and to me they're like my, you know, wow, I look up to them. So it was Sifu Ralph Mitchell who really opened the door for me and introduced me to appreciate the other sportive aspects of martial arts. I was a Kung Fu person, and that's all I wanted to hear about was Chinese Kung Fu. That was my thing. I wasn't that much into the other stuff. I wanted to do Kung Fu. And it just so happened that my Sifu was the vice president of the East Coast Kung Fu Federation. And he was one of the first non-Chinese to learn Southern Praying Mantis Kung Fu here in New York. So when I heard that, that was it. You know, I had to learn that. And he doesn't only teach Chinese Kung Fu, he also teaches the boxing and the judo and the Thai boxing.
And that's why they call it mixed martial arts, because it's a mixture of all.
Yeah, well, today they're calling it mixed martial arts. Okay. My Sifu, for him, it was he saw the totality, and he saw the need that, that every martial art had its strength and weakness. So we called it universal. So he called it universal defense, you know, and that's what it was the universal defense system. Today it's termed as MMA or mixed martial arts, just to make sense to people that they're not doing one style. It's a multiple of styles people are fighting with.
Speaking of styles, we're going to turn the page for a moment and we're going to look at boxing, especially women's boxing. Since Layla Ali has retired from boxing, interest in women's boxing has fell off a bit, but boxing lessons are still being given at Gleason's gym. Alexandra Koplich has more inside the ring.
While Muhammad Ali floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, the ladies at the Gleason's Gym Boxing Clinic were giving their best 1-2 punch. Boxing isn't just for boys. Jackie Atkins, clinic trainer and board member of the USA Boxing Association, recognizes how the physical sport can empower women.
So I think for women, one, it helps us to feel good about who we are. There's a sense of empowerment that comes with being healthy and being in shape. And then also you can let out some of your frustrations, your stress, and it's good for the community. It's a good outlet for women.
Students at the boxing clinic receive world-class training, as the instructor is 4-time world boxing champion Alicia Ashley.
For me, I like knowing that they're learning something specific. It's not just, okay, to sweat. So it's always a big thing for me when I'm training them. It doesn't matter if they're going to compete or not, but that they learn it correctly.
Recognized as one of the most legendary boxing gyms around the world, Gleason's Gym opens its doors to world-class champions and amateurs.
This is the mecca of boxing, you know, so what better place could you have to have something like this? And you get a feel for every aspect of the sport, from the amateurs to the professionals. Some of your best trainers are here. You have, you know, world champions here that are training you, that you're working out with, and you kind of feel like you're on the same level as they are.
Participants like Elizabeth O'Donovan look to do more than just break a sweat at the boxing clinic.
The thing that I like most about them is that they're like very motivating, they're very inspiring, and also they're very technical. Like some people, they come to the gym just to sweat, whereas like they want you to improve.
Instead of Pilates or Zumba, try grabbing a pair of gloves and squaring up at the next Gleason's Gym Women's Boxing Clinic.
Budokan is one word. It's almost like 2 words, but we say it as one word. Budo is martial spirit. You know, do is a way, bu is like martial. So Budo is sort of the way of martial arts or martial arts. Kan is a hall or stadium, a place where Budo is practiced. In Japan, there's actually a real place called the Budokan. And today it's used for, it's like a place for events, you know, for performances, but it's actually a place for all martial arts to be practiced. Striking, grappling, archery, swordsmanship, weaponry, empty hand, weapons, everything. So what we do here is exactly that. So there could be no better name than the Budokan, because it also implies a deeper sense and understanding of martial arts, sort of like the martial spirit, which is more a little bit deeper than just martial arts.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining me, we are in Long Island this week at Sensei Nardu's Budokan Martial Arts Academy. And also we are going to, right now in this segment, basically going to the politics of mixed martial arts. And again, it was knocked down in New York City at the New York, and also at the New York State level in the legislative body a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And your thoughts about it being knocked down again? I mean, they've been trying to get it instated ever since Governor Pataki has declared it illegal to compete.
Yeah, at this point, it's like it's ridiculous. You know, at this point, it's almost comical. It's almost like they're just teasing us so much as martial artists. It's like we all get the feel that it's going to be legalized. We all start getting excited. We all start revving up. And it's almost like someone there is playing a game. They're like, yes, it's going to be legal. Psych, no, it's not. It's not going to be legal. So it's, you know, at this point, it's just really, we had this conversation, I think, almost 2-3 years ago. And here we are at the same spot. You know, on the grassroots level, a lot of martial artists have taken whatever steps they could. You know, I myself, we had petitions. You know, I had stacks of flyers. We were on subway trains. We were in the streets handing out. I have students here. I have their parents. Everyone was involved. We filled out. We wrote letters. We sent all this stuff in. We got it all done. You know, we've shown that martial arts is nothing but positive for everyone. And then still, for us to get slammed like this, it's really.
What do you feel is the reasons why it continues every year? It comes up for a vote in Albany, and then it gets knocked down again?
Well, it's either two things. It's either financial or lack of education, maybe a combination of the two. People are saying that people are not educated about MMA. They need more education. I don't think they want to be educated about it. I don't think they want to hear that mixed martial artists are great people. Just the other day, an MMA guy stopped someone in a robbery situation. It seems like our cries are falling on deaf ears. Maybe they're sort of stuck or set in their way. At this point, you know, I'm going to do the best that I can with my crew and with everyone else to help promote mixed martial arts in a positive light.
Sensei, there are those out there that say, hey, you know, this is a violent sport. Why should we expose our children in New York State to this sport? But then on the other angle, you have young children who are playing football at the Pee-wee level, at the high school level, and the concussions are just, you know, as far as in the media, you've been reading several reports about the concussion level in the NFL and at the high school level has increased. So are those critics being hypocritical in one angle, saying that, you know, mixed martial arts is too violent, but yet every Sunday, man, every Saturday, we out there saying, knock them out, you know, knock the snot out of them.
Sure. I think it all falls back to lack of education, you know, lack of understanding. There's nothing wrong with football. There's nothing wrong with mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts is fine in everywhere you go. We've been fighting in New Jersey. We've been fighting in Florida. We've been fighting in Nevada. We've been fighting in Oklahoma. We're traveling to all these states. You know, to make an argument that mixed martial arts is too violent, basically they just don't understand what's going on. You know, it's a matter of understanding that mixed martial arts is a game of chess. It's not a game of checkers. Mixed martial arts is a thinking man's sport. It's an art where one is trying to use his attributes, being either boxing, maybe a Thai boxing or jiu-jitsu, versus another opponent who's probably or maybe a wrestler or maybe a striker.
So let's say, for instance, example, hypothetically speaking, I'm a wrestler. you're a kung fu artist. As a mixed martial art, I would fight you as far as in the competition. Is that the gist of it?
Sure. MMA has evolved from that premise. Okay. That you're a wrestler and I'm a kung fu man, right? And in the beginning it was this style and that style. In the beginning there was no rules, right? No gloves, right? No weight classes. So mixed martial arts has come such a long way from that what happened is even the mind of the fighter evolved. So if you were the wrestler, you start to realize, wait a minute, I need to learn how to start striking. If I'm the kung fu man, I start realizing, wait a minute, I need to learn some grappling. So what happened is we evolved, and so did everyone else. Why New York is still behind, I don't know.
Explain this, the oval, the fence. Why not a ring? Because, explain that also, because to me, it should maybe be held in a ring type of environment, or if not even, it's not a ring type of environment, maybe an oval that's shaped like a ring.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've fought in the ring myself, and one of the issues when you're fighting in the ring is that when you clinch or you get close to your opponent and they try to take you down, a lot of times the probability or possibility of falling out of the ring is a problem. One time I had an opponent in a choke, and he put his leg out of the ring to try to escape out of the ring, and had to pull us back in. People were reaching inside the ring. The ring is really unsafe for mixed martial art competition because when we clash, we need something strong like an octagon or some type of a cage to really withstand the impact of the corners.
And is the fence safe as far as going up against the fence?
It's solid. It hurts a little bit, it hurts a little bit. And in fact, when you touch it, you're like, ah. But when you start going, your adrenaline's pumping. You don't even feel it. It's good. It's the safest thing to train in.
We're going to turn the page for a moment, and we're going to come back and continue our conversation about mixed martial arts, and hopefully, maybe or maybe not, it may come to New York. But in terms of Long Island, the Nets used to be here in Long Island. Then they moved to New Jersey. Now they're in Brooklyn. But for Nets scout Khalid Green, Brooklyn has always been home. I spoke to him about the Nets moving to Brooklyn. We are here in front of the Barclays Arena, home of the Brooklyn Nets, and joining me is the college scout for the Brooklyn Nets, Khalid Green. Khalid, man, a few more months from now, right, the Nets will have their new home here in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're excited, man. I'm from Brooklyn, and it's like a dream come true. So we're excited and we're ready to roll.
And you don't have far to go from work, right? You're right up the street.
I'm walking to work. No train, no car necessary.
What does this mean overall for the community? You have construction going on, you have workers, you have also other businesses now that are coming into the community.
I think it brings, first of all, it brings excitement, brings a new form of energy, and it brings jobs to the community, which is what we need.
Now, on the court, it's going to create a whole new fan base, because before you were in New Jersey, so you dealt with Newark and Orange and those areas of New Jersey.
Right.
Now, it's all about Brooklyn ball.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed our time in Jersey, but there's no place like Brooklyn in the world, and what will generate here is an excitement. The fans are passionate, they're intense. Basketball is a religion in Brooklyn. So, they're gonna come with their suits on, with their shirts on, with their shorts on. All types of generations will come, black, white, whatever. They will all be here cheering on the Brooklyn Nets, and we're excited.
It's such a privilege to come here and work right here in Brooklyn and be part of a big project like the Nets. Coming back to Brooklyn, this is beautiful.
Now, you said you were born not too far from here, right?
Yes, I was born right here at the Brooklyn Jewish Hospital on Prospect Place. Now it's closed down, but I was born right there, and I grew up right on Lafayette. I lived in Lafayette in the co-ops there. Then I attended Bishop Locker Memorial High School right here in Vanderbilt.
Now, your relationship with Khalid Green, how far does that go back?
Oh man, that goes back years. Khalid is such a good guy, man. Not even to me, but to the community, and he helped so many people, the young cats, helped my son, There's so many guys. And it's a beautiful thing for him to be working right here in the community where he helped so many people. This is a beautiful thing to happen to that young man.
I'm from the community. I love the community where I'm from. I love Brooklyn. Wherever I go, I say I'm from Brooklyn. I never say I'm from New York. And I'm I'm enjoying basketball. I love basketball. I woke up with basketball when I was 2, 3 years old. I used to take it in the bed and hold it like it was a pillow. So it's just a passion of mine, and Brooklyn is a passion of mine. So bringing the two together is a beautiful thing.
Maybe you can relate that everyone loves to see someone from the neighborhood branch out and do extremely well. And sometimes opportunities don't always present themselves, so we're extremely happy to embrace the fact that he's excelling and doing so well. And we're always happy to see such a great individual get that break too, because he's had a lot of success, as I mentioned, at Long Island University. He's had the success with all these great talented kids coming through Bishop Loughlin, so it's right that he ended up where he is right now.
We're back here with Sensei Nardu of Budokan Martial Arts Academy, and we're discussing martial arts, mixed martial arts here in New York State, and what is the probability of maybe, since this is a political year, the politicians may kick it into gear maybe next year. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, at this point, we're going to have to let the politicians fight it out, you know, let them work on that.
And the other question I have, I don't know if I asked this question, but I got to ask you this question. Does mixed martial arts need New York State in order to survive, in order to thrive as a sport?
Well, look how far we've come so far. You know, MMA has not been.
Because are you beating a dead horse at this point? Because people say, you know, you guys keep coming back. It's almost like the point that you're begging, you know, please, sir, please accept us.
You know, at this point, you know, MMA has come so far, even without it being so-called legal here in New York. And the Ultimate Fighting Championship is growing every single day. It's bringing in tremendous amounts of revenue. It would just be good. It would be good if we could have it here in New York. Boxing happens in Madison Square Garden. All these things. A martial art tournament happens every day somewhere in New York City.
But why that? Why a martial arts tournament? Is it because it's one particular art, and mixed martial arts or MMA is a mixture of the various arts?
I believe the reason why it's like that is because martial arts in general, it's not necessary to have a sanctioning body for a martial art, let's say a taekwondo or a karate or kung fu tournament. It's not necessary to have a sanctioning body, people come down, have weigh-in and regulation and legislation. That's not necessary. So therefore, martial art tournaments happen all the time. Mixed martial arts is a whole different situation. Now we have amateurs, we have professionals, we have rules, we have regulations, and that's why, you know, martial art tournament can happen, but not a mixed martial art tournament can happen. It almost doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. It's basically because there's no sanctioning body that's necessary for a regular martial art tournament. Yeah.
But mixed martial arts, you have to have people from various communities.
Sure.
You
gotta remember the martial art tournament. When you win the first place, you walk away with a big trophy. It's not really that much money involved in martial arts. People do martial arts because they love martial arts. People do mixed martial arts because they love mixed martial arts.
How much money is involved?
In mixed martial arts, there's money involved. In mixed martial arts, the fighters have to be paid. It all depends on the promoter and the event. A large show can make pretty good money these days, almost good money. A small show, it's okay. You know, enough to pay the rent, maybe the mortgage, hopefully, for 1 month, maybe 2. Yeah.
From the business angle, for someone that's looking to get in on the business side of mixed martial arts, how vast are the opportunities?
Tremendous. Especially if it's legalized here in New York. Then we have events on a regular basis. Now you got to think about all this time we've been traveling. We take all of our team and we leave New York. So whatever revenue, let's say we go to a hotel, we rent a car, right? We get food for the fighter. All the things we do for a fighter is a whole team. That's one person. That's a lot of money for one person, right? Well, let's say you have 18 fighters on a card. All those 18 fighters just brought all that money to New Jersey. So there we go, New Jersey, nice. That could be happening right here in Manhattan. That could be happening right here in Brooklyn. That could be happening here in Long Island. It used to happen in Long Island, you know, but it's unfortunate because all those so-called business opportunities are leaving. If we had more events here on a local basis, then we would have a lot more opportunities. For example, clothing lines, right? Sponsorship. If I'm a guy and I own let's say I own let's say I own a health food store, and a young kid comes to me and he says, hey, I'm fighting MMA. Could you sponsor me for my show? I say, yeah, where's your fight? It's in New Jersey. What am I going to do with that? My shop is right here. It's on Franklin Avenue in Brooklyn. What kind of help is that going to do if you're fighting in Clifton, New Jersey?
And the thing is, I thought, especially with the new arena opening up in Brooklyn, now this is a real opportunity for mixed martial arts to especially open up maybe in Brooklyn.
Absolutely. I mean, the new arena is going to be beautiful. And, you know, I just think you got to take some of those politicians. I think you got to take them. Just take them. Like, same way you got
pin
me
them
here.
down, right?
Well, not pin them down. Maybe just take them on a journey and say, look, this is what MMA really is. You know, listen.
How have they tried to do that?
No, I'm talking about physically. Right. You know, here's the thing. Like, if you tune in and you see one fight, I've had people say, oh, I can't take Ultimate Fighting. It's bloody, it's violent. If you tune in and you see that one fight where the guy catches an elbow and now there's blood dripping down his face and it's a certain particular referee who doesn't jump in and stop the fight, you're going to feel the same way too. Oh my gosh, it's bloody, it's terrible, right? If you tune in and you go to the Sunday game and it just so happens on that day the boy gets tackled and he falls on his head, he gets a concussion. Oh man, football's violent. Football's not violent. It's not violent. That's just that particular, it happened at that moment. It happens. It's a sportive event and it happens. So
last question.
Yeah.
The future of MMA in New York City, in Brooklyn, and New York State.
Yeah.
Is there a future?
Absolutely, there's a future. You know, everything takes time. Everything takes time, and I believe we've had a few setbacks. This last setback was probably the most, the biggest letdown because everybody was there. I saw people at the assembly. My professor Henzo Gracie was there. He brought Frankie Edgar. You know, these are all professionals. You know, and to see us still be let down now it was really a letdown. But you in life, I think. What the Senate or whoever these people are making the decisions will learn is that mixed martial artists are fighters. And a fighter is a person who learns how to conquer through adversity. This is an adversity. This doesn't mean we give up. We're going to fight until the end.
It's just one obstacle.
There's another obstacle. There's a lot of obstacles. This is a lot of red tape. There's a lot of red tape. So we're going to fight and we're going to ultimately win.
Well, thanks Sensei Nardu for allowing me to come in the octagon. And we're here in Long Island, and next week we'll be back in Brooklyn. For all of us who are in the zone, I'm Micheal Bellamy. Take care and have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at breakartsmedia.org/BIT.